Fusion cannons are cannons that are able to shoot through a 1x1 hole, which means they're very useful for raiding, because enemies won't be able to enter your cannon box that easily. Now, you probably clicked on this video wondering what makes them work, so I'm here to explain just that. More specifically, I'm looking at parallel fusion cannons. They have better range than the older efficient fusion cannons. Let's get into it. So, what actually happens when you're shooting a parallel fusion cannon is it fires twice. The first shot will shoot the sand you want to stack, and the second shot, 2 redstone ticks later, fires the hammer and the red sand, or as it's often called, the one-shot sand. This means that the sand reaches the wall first, starts to dip a little bit, and then the hammer reaches the wall. But because the sand has already gone down because of gravity, the hammer ends up slightly above it, and when the hammer explodes, it affects the sand a whole lot more than if it were to be inside of it. When using a pseudo nuke cannon, the pseudo comes along with the sand with the first power. Because of order of entities, the hammer will make sure it all ends up going downwards and land in the correct spot, but I'll look into order of entities in a separate video. To show you the difference in ticks, here's the power. You can see that here there is delay for full repeater of 4 redstone ticks, but the top half is being powered by 2 repeaters and 1 tick, so 2 redstone ticks. The top half has less delay and therefore the first power. The bottom half comes in second and is a second power. I separated these with a line of blocks, but that's not really required. Now, every component of the shots needs to reach the barrel in order to be affected, of course. The sand right here falls down and gets pushed into the wall, the nuke comes in from down there, gets pushed into the opposite wall, both are in line with the barrel and the booster right here. So, they get shot forward, and almost the exact same time as the first power is about to explode. As you see, all of the power falls down and gets propelled into this one block. When it goes off, the sand is in position to get shot forward. Now onto the second half of the shot, using the second power. The hammer comes in from down here along with the nuke hammer, and the one-shot sand gets pushed into reach of the booster from here. This little booster will fire all of that into the exact same block as the sand and nuke just were, and by the time that happens, the second power explodes. This is the delay for the booster and hammer and the one-shot sand. I could count everything, but you should take my word for it that this big booster in the back here explodes 2 redstone ticks before the small one, because they of course need to be fed to the powers, which also have a 2 redstone tick interval. Here you can see a single shot being fired, working. Now, if I were to change the timings on the small booster to be 2 ticks earlier, it would fire at the same time as the big booster. This would mean that both sand, nuke hammer and one-shot sand get shot at the exact same time, and get propelled by the first power only. You can clearly see the hammer didn't affect the sand enough and it only stacked a little bit. The one-shot sand was not affected at all, so it had to rely on gravity to fall down to here. Now if we change everything back to normal with 2 extra ticks, it works again. Note that you saw the one-shot sand disappear because of the slab bust, which goes off 1 game tick after the hammer. But more info about that will be in the video about game ticks and order of entities. I will also release this cannon soon, so subscribe to be notified when that happens, and comment down below what you would like to see a video on. And that'll be all. Peace.